Breathing helium to make your voice pitch higher is a pretty common party trick. Most of us have probably done it at one point or another. But can it be more dangerous than we think?
9-year-old Tuesday was at a friend's birthday party where kids were laughing and inhaling helium balloons, distorting their voices. What seemed like an innocent game turned dangerous when it was Tuesday's turn. After inhaling the helium, she ran back to her mother and passed out, fell to the ground, and started seizing. Tuesday's terrified mother rushed her to the ER, where she underwent tests checking her brain activity and heart function. Doctors told her mother that the seizures were caused by the helium she had inhaled. Could this innocent childhood game actually be a very dangerous gamble?
We have pediatric intensivist Dr. Alan Greisman, who treated Tuesday after this, joining us via Skype now to weigh in. And Dr. Greisman, can you tell us exactly what happened in Tuesday's case?
Sure. I'll be honest with you. I never heard of this before, but I said, let me investigate this a little bit. So I didn't call Dr. Google. I did my research. And sure enough, I came across articles talking about helium toxicity, sudden death, teenagers doing it at parties on purpose, people committing assisted suicide by inhaling helium. And I realized this is not a benign thing. And we've all done helium. We've all been to a party. I've done it. You've done it. Made our voices squeaky. It's really, really funny. Then I started asking around, and one of my nurses said, yeah, my brother, he once inhaled helium and he passed out. So helium is a dangerous thing. Yes, it makes our voice squeaky and it's fun, but people die from it. It's well described. There's not a lot of them, but basically you're taking a gas that has no oxygen, you're breathing it in. Room air has 21% oxygen. Helium has 0. You're breathing this in, and sure enough, your body's deprived of oxygen, like being strangled. You're asphyxiated, and you pass out, and people die. They can die within 5 to 10 seconds in some of the articles I was reading.
Was Tuesday just inhaling from a balloon, or was she at any point inhaling from, a lot of these parties now, they have the helium tank there, which obviously has a lot of helium in it?
Well, that's a great question. The mom saw her with the balloon, and remember, the helium is out of your system fairly quickly. So had she been to a tank earlier, by the time the mom saw her with the balloon, we were done with the tank. But the tanks are even more dangerous because the helium in a tank comes out under pressure, and that can actually rupture the air sacs in your lungs called alveoli. We know of people that do scuba diving that come up too quickly and get the bends. The bends is having air bubbles that go up to your brain and cause a stroke. And helium toxicity from a high pressure tank can cause the same exact thing.
Do they put a disclaimer on the use of helium balloons and warnings?
No. Having had a couple kids' parties recently, it's so easy and it's inexpensive to get those helium
I'm guessing
tanks.
the kids were doing it, right?
No, actually, interestingly, but your point is so well taken about the dangers of the tank because you have that high concentration without oxygen and then the pressure. So I can imagine that would be just so much more dangerous.
Right, and think about it. 50 years ago, all our parents smoked cigarettes, and that was the thing to do. And now we tell people, don't smoke cigarettes, it's a dangerous thing. But now you have this gas out there that's very common that we've all done. Does it cause thousands and thousands of deaths? No. But how preventable would this be if we just told people, you got to be careful? And I'm not just talking about death. Had this little girl fallen and hit in her head, she could have had injury to her brain. She could have had a bleed. She could have had a fracture. So it's not just the mortality or death, but the injuries that can cause also from doing things like helium.
In this case, it sounds like there's a really good chance that Tuesday was just inhaling some helium from a balloon, and that in and of itself led to a seizure. And I mean, how many times you'll see 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds. And so I think the takeaway here for me is if you're a parent and you're at one of these parties and you see kids doing this, I think it's sort of incumbent upon you to get the kids to stop. I have to credit you, Dr. Greisman. One of the things that you prove to people watching right now is, as a doctor, it's not as though you get out of medical school, you're training and have seen every possible thing, but by taking a great history, doing your own research, you figured out the diagnosis, and we really appreciate you sharing that story with us.
And we docs just learned something here.
We did.
Well, thank you for allowing me to do kind of a public service here, and hopefully in the future, people will realize that this is a dangerous thing. As fun as it might be, this is a dangerous thing.